10 tips and tricks that are pretty helpful, especially if you just started the game. The first one is, if you find yourself stuck and you don't know how to get out, you can just open the chat and type /unstuck. And that takes you out of the place that you're stuck in. What that basically does, it moves you to the closest place that is a ground and doesn't have any obstacles. Number 2, I strongly suggest that as early as possible you do invasions, which are this here. And if you click on it, you're gonna find a lot of invasions. And why this is useful, because it gives you a lot of things that takes a lot of time to craft, like a field run or injectors. And those things take 12 hours to craft each. And trust me, you need a lot of those to craft weapons. So it's a really good idea to start doing invasions alongside crafting those things. And also invasions are pretty useful as well, because they can give you things like Mutalist, Alad V, Nav Coordinate, as well as some other weapon parts. And number 3, guys, is that you shouldn't sell any quest items that you get. That includes weapons, Warframe parts, anything that you have, do not sell it. Because trust me, at some point you would regret selling those weapons and items. Like for example, the Zor is here. You sell this weapon, you'll find yourself very shortly needing it again. And it's really painful to grind back the standing for Cephalon Samaris, because you need 100,000 standings to buy it again. And that's only the blueprint, aside from all the parts that you need. And you can see that here, the 3 parts here, each one costs 15,000 standing. So trust me, even if you need new weapons and you need the slots, it's not a good idea to sell those items and weapons. Number 4 is platinum farming and management. To be honest, when it comes to buying platinum, I don't think it's a very good deal. The only point where it's a great idea to buy platinum is that when you get a 70% discount code. Sometimes randomly when you log in into the game will give you a 70% discount. So if you get that discount and you really need some platinum, you can spend some money on that. But only when you have the 70% discount or higher. And when it comes to the platinum that you already have at the beginning, do not spend it at cosmetics. But instead, you can use that platinum to buy Warframe slots and weapon slots. Because trust me, you will really need it at the beginning. And if you don't need any more slots and you still have platinum, you can spend them on Orkan Catalyst and reactors, as those are pretty important as well. But if you don't need slots and you already have other methods of getting the Orkan Catalyst and reactors, you can spend your platinum however you like. But just try to be mindful of how you spend platinum. And if you want more platinum without spending real money, you can always make platinum for free by trading with other players. And I have a full video explaining how you can make free platinum on my channel. And as for number 5, it's very crucial to always go on the wiki. The Warframe Wiki is very useful. It has everything you need to know about the game. So if you find yourself stuck at any point or you're looking to farm a specific weapon in Warframe, you can always go on the Warframe Wiki and find more information about it. It has information about everything from drops, to weapons, to Warframes, to abilities. Everything you're looking for, you're gonna find on the Warframe Wiki. As well as the Warframe community, which is in my opinion the greatest community ever. This community is so helpful and so nice in so many ways. I myself, from my own experience, I've met a lot of people that gave me a lot of free things and helped me a lot in missions when I just started Warframe. So definitely don't be shy. If you have a problem, you can just ask in the chat in the game, and a lot of people would be down to help you. And of course, if you join any Discord servers, for example, that are about Warframe, you will find a lot of people that really want to help you, and they're not waiting for anything in return. This is just how great the community is. And of course, guys, if you like this video and you find it useful, please consider subscribing. We're about 400 subscribers away from 1,000. And at 1,000 subscribers, I will have a couple of giveaways in Warframe. For number 6, I strongly advise that you guys focus on the open world standing, as there is a lot of farming to do. You would focus on doing it daily as soon as possible. And you would be able to do that by doing the bounties at any open world. And aside from just leveling up your status, you can use the standing to buy things that you need. For example, there is a lot of vendors in Cetus. This one here, he sells everything that has to do with mining, from the laser cutters to blueprints to everything you need. And I would also strongly suggest that you pledge for a syndicate as soon as possible, as these are very useful. They give you a variety of items here. And with that standing, when it comes to a syndicate, you can buy a lot of things, like weapons, cosmetics, scenes, mods, weapon parts. There is a lot of things to buy. And of course, the weapons and mods and everything are different for each syndicate. For example, Arbiters of Hexes here, they have the Telos weapons. And if we took a look at the Steam Meridian, they have the Vaker weapons. And they also have other cosmetics and scenes and mods. And the same goes for Cephalon Soda. You would find that Cephalon Soda has the cyanide weapons, as well as the cosmetic scenes and different mods as well. So definitely start farming standing for syndicates as soon as possible. And for number 7, guys, I strongly suggest that early on, as much as possible, try to gather all the caches and resources along the way. For example, you can find a cache here. If you break it, you get some resources from it. I got ferrite and credits. So trust me, it's a way better idea to farm it early on. Especially if you have a lot of missions to do on the start chart, it wouldn't be as painful to grind later on, as you would be finishing the mission anyway, so you can just go around and gather all the resources that you see. There are items and weapons that you need to craft, and those require hundreds of thousands of resources. So as much as possible, you can save yourself the pain and farm these stuff early on. And you do not have to look for a specific resource, just gather everything that you see in your way. And of course, guys, that includes all the lockers. Just go up to them and press X and you get the loot inside of it. And guys, for number 8, do not sell any weapons, Warframes, companions that you have, unless you get them to max level. The majority of weapons, they only reach level 30, and there is only a handful of weapons that reach level 40, like the Kuva weapons and the Sister of Marvelous weapons. And the reason why you want to level all of them to the max before you get rid of them, because this way you would level up your mastery rank. And if you don't get your weapon to max level, you will never get the mastery rank out of that weapon. Number 9 is Nightwave. I have seen a lot of players that ignore the Nightwave completely, and in my opinion that's a big mistake. As much as possible, try to do all the daily and weekly missions, and that doesn't just give you creds, but also gives you a lot of rewards and loot from here. You get everything from weapon slots to Warframe slots to cosmetics to items. There is a lot of things. And with the creds, you can always buy Orkan Catalyst and reactors, aside a ton other cosmetics and weapons and weapon parts and mods. So definitely start farming the Nightwave as soon as possible. And for number 10, try to join a clan as soon as possible. As soon as you can, join a clan and craft the dojo key. That way you will have access to all the labs in the dojo, which provide blueprints for warframes, weapons, and more. And not just that, but also you have the option to get the Gath from the dojo. And if that doesn't sound good enough for you, then let me tell you that joining a clan will make your life even more easier. And you would have more people closer to you. And you would have a hard chance at finding players that would help you, whether it's by helping you in a mission, giving you advice, or even giving you free items. And if you watch until the end, I have some bonus tips for you. Bonus tip that I have for you guys is try as much as possible to finish the whole start chart. Do all the missions in the start chart, because once you finish all the start chart, you will have access to the arbitrations. And these missions, they give you a lot of endo. And not just that, but you would also have access to Steel Path, which is basically a harder version of the normal start chart. As well as the more missions you do, the more MR you get from doing those missions. And as you can see in the mastery breakdown here, it shows that the missions gave me 27,500, which are MR points. And of course, keep in mind that you only get MR for doing the mission once. If you keep repeating the same mission, you only get the MR once, not more than that. So by finishing both the normal and Steel Path start chart, you get a good amount of MR points. So yeah, that's it guys, and don't forget to subscribe.